So, Steve Darrow, your question, here it comes. I know this is the moment that you've been waiting for forever and ever and ever. And I saw your comments. I hope we're going to get to his question. I'm going to get to it. I hope we get to it. And we're going to get to it, Steve. We'll get to it next week. That'll do it, I think. No, that's all right, Steve. I didn't want to give you a heart palpitation. Here we go. Steve Darrow's question. This is the question to Steve Darrow. Now, please, if we could have a moment of silence, ladies and gentlemen. Steve Darrow's question. He begins. I appreciate you answering my intellectual dark web question in TSL 180, but you answered it as if I were referring to the alt-right dark web. I was referring to the group of thinkers that, well, make up Dave Rubin's guest lists. So let me reframe. This is a restatement of Steve Darrow's original question, and is worthy of even double respect that way. So here we go. Let me reframe. Out of Dave's guest list, who would you like to see debate each other, and what topic would you like them to tackle? I don't know Dave Rubin's guest list. I know I'm on it, and I know that Stefan Munoz on it. I personally think that the person I'd like to see, the two people I'd like to see debate would be me and Dave Rubin. And the reason I think that this would be worthwhile is because it's instructive. If you've seen the After Hours segments I did with Dave Rubin, it's so instructive that Dave Rubin, who calls himself a liberal, certainly has a lot of progressive, bona fides. I mean, he's gay. He's been a liberal for a long time. He's got a lot of liberal credentials. Of course, he's speaking sense now, so that's basically thrown him out of that club. But in any event, you would definitely call him a liberal. He would certainly call himself a liberal. And Dave Rubin and I sat down and said on the air, and I think it's a really great point. I said, Dave, you could come with 10 of your supporters. I could bring 10 of mine. We could all 22 of us sit down. Math's not my strong suit. Never said it was. Could sit around a table, and I guarantee you we could come up with a political program that we would all be able to agree on. I guarantee it. And you could sell that to 85% of the American people easily. There's 5 or 10% on the right that 7% wouldn't. No, that's just too liberal for me. And there's probably a larger group of lunatics on the left. No, there's no way I can possibly allow that. But most everybody would agree with these fundamental things. I think you could actually really get there. First thing you have to do is throw away the labels. But and the second thing you have to do is you have to do something that I did with Dave did with me, and it's actually becoming more and more scarce to the detriment of the country, the future, our mental health, and everything else. And that is, when I deal with Dave, when I talk with Dave, I give him the presumption of being a good fellow who wants good things to happen. And he certainly seemed to do that with me. I didn't just automatically assume that he was spawned from the gates of hell and was determined to destroy everything that was worth keeping. And he didn't do the same for me. When you can get to that place and start there, start from the belief that this guy seems like a good guy and he seems like a smart guy. So maybe I'll learn something. That's the beginning of the whole thing. So I think that's basically it. I think that there is certainly rising out there a number of voices. Gavin, oh my God, what is his name? It just flew right out of my head. Oh, I've been on his show. Get off my lawn, Gavin. Dave Rubin is one. Jordan Peterson. There is certainly a rising tide of people who are beginning to speak sensibly, and Kanye West is aware of it. Candace Owens and several others. So yeah, I think in a weird sort of way, even though it's darker than it was in terms of the future, the near future's horrifying. The more distant future is looking better. As the what used to be the distant future is now the near future. Beyond that, I think it might be a little bit better.